Now that almost 50 years has passed since the first public reports of experiences in relation to death, researchers have been painstakingly putting the pieces of the puzzle together to better understand what we're all likely to experience in death by analyzing hundreds and thousands of reports and testimonies with a well-validated system known as qualitative research. As research has matured throughout history, scientists have come to the realization that our language is somewhat limited when it comes to depicting present-day discoveries, and especially those that relate to human experiences. In the particular case of these detailed mental experiences occurring around the threshold of death, the vague term of near-death experiences falls incredibly short in defining what exactly fits into these parameters, because they are sometimes not just plainly near death. In fact, many survivors recall experiences that appear to occur even after their hearts had stopped and they had crossed over the threshold of death. The other problem has been that historically, the term near death has been vague and not well defined at all. So over the years, many other experiences that may not have anything to do with death have also been mistakenly labeled as near-death experiences. This definitely leads to a lot of problems and arguments, simply because people are talking about different things and yet labeling them the same. It's the story of comparing apples and oranges. Therefore, some scientists have recently moved toward using the term recalled experiences of death, or RED, to better determine the essential quality of these testimonies that actually relate to death, in order to make them measurable in research and to distinguish them from other experiences that were mistakenly called near-death experiences in the past. So what constitutes a recalled experience of death, and how can it be distinguished from other experiences that people may have? Firstly, an experience to be classified as an RED, the experience must occur when people have lost consciousness in a life-threatening situation, which includes after the heart stopped. Today, researchers are identifying that people with REDs describe very specific and consistent broad categories, which can be broken down into 50 or so sub-themes. Some of the major categories of an RED, as described by people, are a perception of leaving the body and realizing that they had died.
The first thing I experienced was that I could suddenly see my body from above. Is this death I contemplated? If this is, why am I very clear-headed?
A feeling of returning to a place that is home and is more real than anything.
It appeared as though we were going through a tunnel of light. I felt I was home, like I knew this place. Everything was hyper-realistic, perhaps more real than I have ever known reality to be. It was as perfect as you can ever imagine.
Being greeted by deceased family and friends.
There were people that I loved who passed before me.
A review of their life with a focus on their actions, intentions, and thoughts towards others.
I began browsing through time. I saw events from my short life, and I later detailed things that occurred before I could even talk. These were events I should not be able to remember, but I do, and in great detail. Then I began a review of my life, of the key moments of my life, but at the same time, I was re-experiencing it from the other people's point of view. And that was a stunner because you feel their pain. You feel the sting. You feel the hurt. Not only did I see the actions I had done, but also the thoughts I had sent out and how they meant more than the actions. I saw how my choices and behaviors rippled through the lives of countless others. It was very apparent that every single thought, word, and action affects everything.
Encountering a highly compassionate yet powerful entity.
I found a being beside me. It was a comforting presence, a reassuring presence, but was also of great magnitude and power. He was able to see everything and feel everything that I had done in my life. I was comforted at this time, consoled and reassured. I was only asked what I had learned. My whole life was viewed, analyzed and judged. I was instantly reminded of all the things that I did for others or failed to do for someone. It was humiliating. I felt really dreadful, and it was completely humbling. The judgment came all from myself. It was not from an outside source. But then this being that was with me was also sending me messages of comfort.
Most experiencers have difficulty finding words to fully describe their experience because what they felt and saw is described to not be of this reality. They say their experience is ineffable, such that words don't exist to describe it. As well as the specific themes that people recall, what really makes the recalled experience of death stand out is a transcendent, positive, and transformative quality that distinguishes it from many other experiences that people can have during the course of their hospitalization. Remember, these people can be unconscious for weeks after a life-threatening experience, so they can have lots of other experiences as well. For instance, in the past, all sorts of different experiences that were occurring at different times, including dreams and confused or distressing experiences, had previously been thrown under the overall umbrella of a near-death experience. Scientists are now understanding that jarringly negative experience like being attacked by terrifying entities or physical pain rather than during their actual encounter with death. Why does this occur? Well, this is kind of a twilight period, a state where someone between being conscious and unconscious, when people are recovering after a life-threatening illness. This is when people are in a disoriented state and can misinterpret the physical sensations from doctors and nurses performing routine medical treatments, like giving them medications or holding them down for their own safety, as being attacked by terrifying beings or burning. One woman even said that she thought she was on fire in hell, but later realized that an acidic medication given by a nurse had seeped under her skin, causing a feeling of her arm burning, as if it was actually on fire. So then why might some people remember their experiences, while others remember nothing at all? Well, in a life-threatening illness or encounter with death, the brain cells become inflamed, which together with the effects of sedative drugs, ultimately results in memory loss in everyone. This is why nobody usually remembers things when they were unconscious. Some survivors may vividly recall many features of an RED, but most people only remember some fragments, or even nothing at all. But the lack of memory recall doesn't mean that they didn't actually experience these memories. It just means that they likely forgot them later, like how people can forget what they'd done if they were given a sleeping pill. The other challenge for researchers is separating the RED with all of its unique and distinctive features in relation to death from other fragmented memories and experiences that occur later in the hours, days, and weeks while the person is still unconscious in the hospital. Forming the boundaries of what is and is not a recalled experience of death allows researchers to better decipher when and where a particular survivor's state of consciousness was at the time of their experience, and the specific themes we will all likely experience when we die, which allows scientists to slowly but surely begin to solve the age-old puzzle of what happens to the mind and consciousness after we die.